to pivot just a little bit about the either ethics or effectiveness of a third-party vote. Or let's put in the category abstaining or writing in. And you've got some people saying ethically it's demanded, and then others that say it's completely and totally ineffective. So either side of that, I'd love to hear you kind of comment on either the ethics or the effectiveness or both of them.
Yeah, I'll dive in. It's often framed that, do we have to vote for the lesser two evils? We're looking at two candidates. In all likelihood, barring something really bizarre, either Clinton or Trump will be our next president. So is it a dereliction of our responsibility and duty to vote for someone other than those two and not influence the next person there one way or another? A lot of people are saying that you have to. And so they're weighing relative merits of these two and trying to come up with the one that they do feel is worse and voting against that one. Because, well, if I really feel like Clinton is this terrible for our country, I will vote for Trump to stop her. If I really feel like Trump is this much of a disaster, I will vote for Clinton to stop her. So some say, you know what, I understand that. At a certain level, pragmatically, we should be assessing that. There comes a time where you just have to say no. You have to say no to both. And you could think of it, there's a lot of illustrations you could use to get your mind around that. I think, imagine that I were to give you an order, we were in the military, and my order to you was to go and you had options. You could either go to this one city and kill the 5,000 people in that town, or you could go to the other and kill the 500 people there. You could say, well, between those two, 500 is less than 5,000, I'll do that. I think it would be more a third-party person, someone advocating stepping away from those two would say, you have to just, as a believer, say, I'm not going to do something that I know willfully to be wrong. I'm not going to put my name behind something or act in such a way that a year from now I can't defend. And so I really do not like the options in front of me, but I'm going to step back and trust that God is sovereign. Mm-hmm. That would kind of be the approach that they have, saying, I know that this is not effective for choosing the next president, but I will always choose what I know to be good and right over what I believe to be effective.
Now, do you think we are there with that analogy, with the 5,000 and the 500?
So you're pushing me to say
I am pushing
third-party candidacy is something I'm personally going to be pursuing.
Let's just say that we're true.
Were that the case? I highly respect people who survey the field and say that they're going to vote for a third-party candidate, either Gary Johnson, the Libertarian, or some other write-in. I think writing in somebody would be more responsible than abstaining altogether, because it can be kind of a protest vote. They have to count them. They have to say, well, look at all these people that voted for somebody that wasn't the major candidate. So I have a lot of respect for someone who goes that route. I applaud them for that. I think it's a step of integrity.
Mm-hmm. Do you have something to add? Cami, would you? Cam?
Hello? Okay, sorry. I probably have a little bit of a different perspective. I won't tell you which one it is, but I will be voting for one of the major party candidates, and the reason is twofold. I think believers have a moral obligation to engage and to cast a informed vote. I think one challenge to all third parties, and it's just the nature of the beast in our system, is the silos of their ideology is very fluid. It's often unknown. Even logistically, you have to petition to be a third-party candidate on our ballot in North Carolina. I'm like 95% sure this is correct, so fact check me for your own sake. So you have to make sure that these votes are being counted. I think all of these elements of gathering all the data as a believer, our God is a very efficient God. Y'all, he created the world in 7 days. So I think it is prudent and wise to also act in that same wisdom that we receive through him, but also in that same efficiency. What will do the greatest good for our common man in America?
Do you think there ever comes a time then that it would be morally obligated, or at least morally honorable, to have a third-party vote? Are you saying it's we must, as long as the likely winners from one of these two parties, Christians ought to vote for one of those two.
I think there certainly could be a time for that. I don't know if
Do you just feel like we haven't approached that threshold just yet?
I think that, well, if God is sovereign, and in Scripture I've seen him work through really, really bad leaders, I think he is, if he is still on his throne, and I believe he is, I believe he can still do that today. And if it's a short-term pain for a long-term success, I will take that.
So
I think we agree on that.